Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. This is Genvièv, and you are on Genvièv TV, your channel for transformation and empowerment. Well, I've been announcing this for a couple of months, and he is finally here with us. And what a gift to be collaborating for you today with the legendary Native American healer and spiritual teacher, Tony Redhouse. The winner of New Age Music Awards. Tony is a Navajo Indian whose healing work has profoundly touched those in recovery from illnesses, from substance abuse, from cancer, grief, trauma, and adversity. Tony has worked with federal government agencies, substance abuse recovery centers, Native American HIV/AIDS groups, behavioral health colleges. He was featured as a luminary in Death Makes Life Possible by Deepak Chopra, as well as on the Kardashians and Real Housewives in New Jersey television shows, and even had his own TV show. Receiving a healing of this scope is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and experience. So we are in for a treat today. Before we get started, as always, you all know my standard disclaimer. Do not listen while driving or operating machinery. If you are, turn your phone off and focus on your surroundings. And always consult with your licensed medical team before following any of our advice. What we teach here on the channel is educational and never meant to replace your licensed medical care. Tony's teachings cross all boundaries. It includes all demographics, and it bridges the gap between different cultures, musics, nature, spiritual beliefs to bring us all into harmony. And I'm going to let Tony explain his various educational and life experience with different beliefs, because you have to hear it for yourself. So Tony, please share with us.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share this time with you,
My pleasure.
and with your guest. I really appreciate the opportunity to share some of my heart, some of my thoughts, some of my teachings. And I appreciate you and your respect and appreciation and ability to flow with my path, my journey in this life. And so I was raised as a Native American. My dad was from the Navajo Nation in northeastern Arizona. He also was the son. He was the son of a Navajo medicine man. So my grandfather, his name was Hostine Redhouse, and he was a healer. And so my father was from that lineage. And so at a young age, I was put on stage when I was 5 years old to represent Native American culture. That was before there was the American Indian movement. That was right when the civil rights, the Black civil rights movement was in full swing, starting to get going. And now Native Americans, we didn't have any recognition. You know, we were still considered less than, and my dad wanted to make a statement, and so he put me on stage when I was 5 years old, and to be in an international kids pageant, and he stood behind me, and I was dressed in Native American regalia, and my dad instinctively put me on stage to be a spokesman and to be a representation of his culture. And so at a very young age, I began this path. So I want to let the guests know there that if you have children, guess what? You know, by the time they're 5 years old, they probably already have an inkling, they have a glimpse, they probably have a tendency They resonate with a certain path. It may be something that they enjoy doing when they're in their bedroom playing with something. They keep resonating with this, keep doing the same thing. They may be drawn to a certain sound, a certain color, a certain activity. But be aware that by the time they're 5 years old, they probably have already experienced what their destiny is going to be. Mm-hmm. So I teach the way things begin is the way things are going to be.
Oh, I know. You told me that, and it's so beautiful. It resonated so deep with me.
Yeah. So how you're brought into the world, your mom and dad, your family of origin, the area that you're born into, the culture, all of these things begin to shape and mold, who you're going to be, who you already are, the gift that you have inside. And so it's beautiful to begin life in this way. And it may take, years and years, and we may go through different careers, we may go through different relationships, but in the end, we come back to that one place and go, you know what? I want to do what I really wanted to do, what I was drawn to when I was a little kid. And a lot of people do that. They go through their whole life, they go through careers and things that their parents wanted them to do or that society felt was going to be appropriate for them. And then they realize, no, this is not who I am. And then they go back in their circle of life to the beginning in the east direction where the sun rises, where they started their journey. And they could go through their whole life, teenage years, young adult, middle ages. They can go through relationships, maybe marriage and career and everything else. And then they hit their middle ages and they go, you know what? This is not what I really want to do. And they rewind the clock and they go back and they go, this is what I really wanted to do when I was 5 years old. And then they begin life all over. Okay. So we really look at Native Americans, we look at our life as a circle. We look at symbolism, color, nature, our animals, to the different four directions. And we look at our life in this beautiful symbol, and it's very clear, it's very open, it's very transparent, it's very vulnerable, and we want our life to be like that, and it gives us this beautiful balance that we're able to flow very freely in life, not rigidly, not with sharp edges and corners, and a square, a triangle could not do this, okay? And if we have hidden areas, and we have crevices, and we have corners, you can't do this, okay? So we want our life to be wide open, like a child. We want to be free, vulnerable, receptive, transparent. And so this is a beautiful picture for us, to look at our life as a circle.
The circle of life, the great circle of life.
Yes. And so in the very beginning, the things that, I began, I was raised in Catholicism. My mom was Filipino, and she was a very strict Catholic. And so when my dad decided to marry her, he had to go back to my grandfather and ask permission from my grandfather, because my dad wanted to leave the religion. He had to marry into the Catholic religion to marry my mom. He had to move, and he began a career in the Army, and he wanted to begin raising a family in the Bay Area in California. And so he had to go back and ask permission from my grandfather, if he could do this, and he received a blessing.
Wow.
But as a child, I was drawn to certain things. Well, actually, you know what? I really wasn't drawn to certain things. I was actually put in situations. My dad put me on stage. Okay, I was terrified. I was so scared. My mom said I tried to hide in the house so that I would not have to be in that pageant in front of an audience in an auditorium and be dressed in that regalia. I didn't want to do it. I was too shy. So I tried to hide. So my dad actually put me on stage. He chose me out of 6 children in his family to be on stage. So the heavens know these things, okay? And they have a way of they have a sense of humor. They okay, we're going to put you in this position, Tony, at 5 years old. You don't know what you're going to be getting into, but here you're going to be standing in front of this audience and looking at these people and wondering what the heck are you doing, and you're gonna be watching, and you're gonna be observing. And so my dad put me in that position. I was raised in Catholicism, which was not really, a choice that I had. But you know what it did? I believe that as a result of that, I was an altar boy. And during the little services, I was dressed in my little robe. And whenever the priest would be raising the host and the chalice, I would be back there on my knees. I'd be back there, raise the host, raise the chalice. I was already learning percussion at a young age to be on time, on cue. Okay, not knowing that, and also being very aware of pure brass tones, pure tones. Okay, yes. And so these are just little glimpses that I began to have. I look back and I realized I was being set up. I was being
every step of the way
prepared for this path. And so what I'd like to encourage people out there, and thank you for watching us and listening to us, I would like to encourage you to be all-inclusive. All of the experiences you've been through. There's no need for judgment. There's no need to really analyze, to criticize, to compare. What we've been through it's been a process. It's been like an adventure. And since the time we come into this world, we are given certain experiences, relationships, encounters. Some of them may be very dark. Mm-hmm. Some of them may be very traumatic. Absolutely. Some of them may be very painful. But this is all part of this journey that we're on, which has been part of a shaping process for us to be able to be that beautiful picture. As a young boy, I was like a little eaglet, a young eaglet in a nest, okay? And I was still very dependent on my mom and dad eagle to come and feed me and nourish me and to take care of me and to be safe in that nest, high in that tree, 90 feet in the air in a pine tree, no predators, safe, at peace, being nourished, taken care of. And guess what? My dad pushed me out of the nest. I didn't have my wings developed yet. I was just an eagle. I was pushed out of the nest at 5 years old. And those of us that are on a spiritual path, that do healing work, that are intuitive, that help other people to heal, just as you do, and just as I do. Sometimes we are pushed out of the nest at an early age.
For sure.
And then guess what? While being pushed out of the nest and
falling to our death
on the earth in this jungle, I grew my wings on the earth, going through 40 years of addiction, through numerous marriages, failed marriages, through much hardship, and I grew my wings in that jungle and living in darkness. And I finally was able to soar like an eagle. And I was able to go back and to create my own nest, to soar, to build my own nest, what would be a refuge for me, for my heart, that would be a safe place for me. And I began to take all the circles of life that I had connected with, all the people, animals, birds, trees, the sun, the moon, the stars, the lunar cycle, the animal life cycle, the plant life cycle, and everything that I experienced in my life, and all the people and relationships, all circles of life just as my own. But I was able to grow those wings as a mature eagle, and I was able to I was able to soar my highest dreams. And then in the end, what I realized, how valuable each of our circles of life are, because in reality, each of us are what create as we connect with each other without judgment, in peace, in love with each other, with all circles of life. We create what you know as the universe. The universe is just a circle of circles.
Energy.
All of us coming together, creating this beautiful wholeness, completeness. And you can see yourself right in the center of the universe. So when we use these simple ideas that I was raised with as a Native American, then you can bring life down to a very simple place and a very clear place. The world has become so complicated. There's so much technology. There's so much division. And we need to unite again, just like I represented there. And we need to create this universe that is in harmony. And we can do this. If we begin to open up and we begin to not just react and respond, which most people do. They have their circle of life. They start their circle of life. They're born into a family, maybe situations that are not perfect, maybe things that have happened as a child, and they're imprinted. And they begin spending their whole life reacting and responding to what happened back here. And everything is colored by what happened here. Relationships, they try to begin relationships, they try to begin projects, but it's all been impacted by what's happened here. So we spend our whole life reacting and responding, reliving, reacting, responding, reliving, reacting, responding our whole life. And then we come to the end of our circle, and this is where I would share my music in the hospice and help people to die. And we come to this place here, and we have to say goodbye to everything that we've known and loved. This can be a beautiful, glorious place for us to be able to just soar to the heavens. Or it can be like the person laying in a hospice bed like this, who is in complete agony because none of their seasons in their circle of life had closure.
Absolutely. And you know, I want to say something about your work, which we'll talk again at the end of your presentation today and your beautiful healing. But it's so fascinating to me that from your Native American spiritual healing perspective, you take the same approach as I do in my practice, is regressing to root cause, to heal the original wounds, right? And with you, you do it with this beautiful deep within meditation, where you take us back to the womb, to the core of the initial of our life force with the heartbeat, and it resonates so deep with me, because the whole spirit behind my work as well is to go back to the core of the wounds and release them. And so you're also doing regression to cause with a musical approach, and the heartbeat and the drums and the flute and your humming, your beautiful voice, which I've been listening to as I fall asleep at night. So it's being cradled by you into the world of sleep every night. So we'll talk about your music at the end. But also, one of the things that I wanted to emphasize, a lot of people are asking me, well, I'm from this faith, and why are you talking about that other faith? And you and I, we work similarly with all religions, all cultures, all faith, all belief, with the love for faith as an energy, the source energy. And so I think it's important to emphasize that here, that your work addresses all beliefs. It does not judge, it doesn't condemn, and it doesn't ostracize. It addresses all of us wherever we come from to the beat of life, and reharmonizes us with the nature of our being. Am I saying this correctly?
Yes. in the end, everything is one.
Absolutely. The oneness of all there is.
They're all facets of each other. And all religions, all spiritual paths, all cultures, all people are part of a family, a human family, but we are part of the universe. We're not just part of what is presently here, but if you think of everything as one, then we are one with the other side too, with
Absolutely.
our ancestors. When you think about the north direction and the circle of life, it is a place of completion. So if you think about the beginning, you think about the strength and development, like teenage years, the drive, the ambition. You think about the darkness where the sun sets in the west and things begin to shift, things begin to change. We go deeper into sleep, into dreams, into visions, meditation, closing our eyes, it becomes dark, hypnotherapy. Whenever you close your eyes, then you begin to see from the soul, not from these physical eyes. Absolutely. And then you go to the north direction, and this is the place of completion, okay? It's a place when we're ready to transition, but this north direction is also a place of completion in the circle of life, and so it means that everything comes together. Everything is part of us. If I am playing a nightclub, which I do, and as you can see, I'm a percussionist. Okay, so if I'm playing Latin jazz on the congas, or funk or soul or salsa or whatever I'm playing, if I'm going into that situation not knowing what music is going to be played, or not even knowing the musicians, but I am hired to do something, I come in and I sit down and go, okay. North direction, ancestors, where everything is, every invention, every sound, every rhythm, every composition, every type of wisdom, all the knowing. I need wisdom for the situation. And it's not something that is difficult. Sometimes we think we have to jump through the hoops. We have to jump through the hoops. We have to jump through the hoops to get to this place in spirituality. No, this is something that is given to us in our heart. Absolutely. And so I was raised in California. You think about Watsonville, California, and you walk through these apple orchards. Oh. And if you're hungry, you go, and you eat because you're hungry. It's the same thing in the north direction. If I need something, I'm like a little child that's hungry, that is seeking. I need something for this situation right here. I need something, I need wisdom, and I need your intuition. I need a sense of knowing if I'm going to date this person. I need to be fully aware if I'm going to collaborate and travel across the country and do a concert for this organization that wants to contract with me. I need to know, and I need to have a dream. I need to have a vision. I need to understand, who am I being connected to here? Okay. So in every situation, we simply say, hey, I need an answer, and we pluck that apple. Okay. And so in a situation in a nightclub, the first note that they hit, I say, hey, you guys, ancestors, circle of people up there, I need direction right here and right there.
Boom, it happens.
I'm right on the beat, and I stay the whole night. Whatever song they pull out of the bag, okay? So it's the same thing with our life. Everything is one. And so you're going to find all of the wisdom and all of the teachings and the ceremonies and all of the thoughts of Buddhism, of Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, African religions, Asian religions, Tibet, Native American. All of these thoughts are in the air, resonating, and they are available. And in the end, they're all connected together. So I've done, as a Native American, I was hired 2 years ago, I think it was, by a Jewish family to do a bar mitzvah at the Grand Canyon to share a Native American drumming ceremony, interactive drumming and dancing with their family for their son's bar mitzvah.
That's beautiful.
Grand Canyon as my backdrop and all the drums there. Okay. I've been called to by different people to do these things, different ceremonies, and in the end, we all are benefiting each other. And I've also been involved in Christian ministry, where I had played with a televised Trinity Broadcast Network Shower of Power show, and I played percussion for a spirit-filled, non-denominational Christian gospel group. Okay, and I did every week with them, and so I was aware of the evangelists and the people, the prophets, and people that came in and that taught and spoke words of wisdom and sang in the spirit and spoke in tongues and all of these things. I was also entrenched in that. I took all of these things that I've experienced and saw the benefit of them, the teachings that I was able to learn, and so as a Native American, as Navajos or Dene, what we're called the people, it means the people. We are have been known as people that borrow ideas, as survivor, as we're called the enduring people, survivors. Okay, we've endured, we've lived centuries, and because we've adapted and we've been flexible, just as you have been flexible with me, we have shared with each other. We have been able to share with other tribes. The rug weaving that we have been known for is Navajo rug weaving. Okay, you can. It costs so much to buy a rug now. I mean, from the people, but we learned that from other tribes. Maybe we learned it from the Pueblo tribe. Okay, the Navajo silversmith. Okay, which we're known for as Navajos, as making beautiful jewelry, okay, and silver and turquoise and jewelry. We learned that from the Zuni tribe. Okay?
Nice.
So we borrowed ideas, we perfected them, we put our signature on them, and they became Navajo. So this is what the world ends up being. It ends up being a fusion
Absolutely.
of thought, of belief systems, of cultures. When we can do this, then we have a beautiful universe.
We
when
grow
we
all
to
together.
Judge, and we begin to look down on other people, and we begin to not appreciate and value each other as precious treasures in life, then we begin to have conflict, war, division, all of these things, injustices. We begin to have these problems, and it goes back to what's right in here in our hearts.
Absolutely. And so today you are going to step into the back of your studio here and give us Native American healing meditation with your beautiful healing sounds. So do you want to just share a few words about how people should experience and tune into this and cherish this?
In any type of meditation, and once again, I have certain teachings, meditation, it's not how you do it. It's not where you do it. It's not how long you do it. What I teach meditation is being still long enough to feel. Not think, feel. Not think and complicate, complicate things in our mind and compare things with other people. But how do I feel in my heart about any situation, about myself? Okay. So being still long enough to feel, that means going within And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to use simple sound to guide you. As Native American, the ancestral sounds, the simple voice, the drum, and the flute are what have guided us in ceremony, have helped us to be able to express what is deep in our soul, open us up to the heavens. And so these simple sounds, once again, if we're being all inclusive with all cultures, you know what? Your culture, African, Asian, Chinese, Tibet, Celtic, Irish, you had the flute.
Mm-hmm.
You had the voice.
Yep.
You had the chant. You had the drum. So all of these things, the yogic traditions, okay, all of these traditions, these ancient traditions, yogic, the Ayurvedic, naturopathic, Asian, Chinese medicine, Native American, all of us use the voice, the drum, and the flute. All of us, all of our ancestors, that's what we use to take us into ceremony that brought us back home to ourself. And so when you hear it, when you hear these sounds, you go, wow, I must have been a Native American in the past. Because
I recognize.
maybe you're a beautiful Pocahontas or something. So when you hear those sounds, you resonate with it. It feels like home because it is part of your culture too. Okay. And so I'm going to guide you with these simple sounds, and I want you to simply be open to receiving, to be able to feel, to be able to sense, and to be able to allow the simple sound to transport you.
Beautifully.
Most important thing about meditation is this. Okay? Not this.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us have been hurt.
Yes.
Most of us have been traumatized. Most of us have experienced pain. And so we have a wall over our heart. When we want to practice meditation, we want to start going like this.
Mm-hmm.
We want to start opening our heart, becoming vulnerable. And just as you are, Genvièv, as you're opening your heart like I am, that is what the eagle does.
Mm.
The only act that it takes for an eagle to soar, the north direction, the wisdom, the freedom, letting go, is opening your heart. When you open your heart, your wings automatically spread, and then you can soar, okay? But it takes you, that one act is just this. When I work with drug addiction programs, every class that I do, I have them do this. And they practice opening their heart, becoming vulnerable, taking another risk, being open, being transparent, and then they can soar. Okay? So that's what I want you to do today. I'm going to guide you with simple sound, and I'd like you just to simply relax. I want you to get into a comfortable posture. If you're sitting on a couch, lay on the couch. If you're sitting on the bed, lay down on the bed. If you want to lay down on the floor, if it's not messy or anything. And wherever you want to relax, I want you to come to that place of just going, okay, I'm going to free fall. I'm not going to hold on to anything. The one thing that human beings do is we cling. We hold on to things, okay? And that's our security, okay? Whether it's what we've accomplished, our trainings, our strength, our history, our whatever it is, we're holding on to something. You cannot soar like an eagle if you're holding on.
Very good point. Letting go. Letting go.
The eagle has 400 pounds of pressure in its grip, 10 times that of a man. So when that eagle holds on to something, when that eagle holds on to that rabbit's going to be dinner, okay? It's not going to let go. But that eagle must learn to let go and release everything on the earth to be able to soar. We also, as human beings, need to let go of our strong grip and our need for security and holding on. Otherwise, we cannot do this.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay? So let me guide you today. And I'm going to use simple sound. And I want you to simply be open to going on a journey with me. And begin to feel, I will guide you in this. Begin to feel, begin to sense, begin to become aware. Of the simple heartbeat. Allow the cells in your body, your muscles, your nerves, your fingers, your toes to relax, become aware, hear, sense, feel the heartbeat. The heartbeat is a symbol, just like the circle of life is a symbol. The heartbeat is a symbol of unconditional love. Constant, faithful, true, eternal, always holding you, cherishing you, treasuring you as a precious life. Allow your vital organs, your liver, your pancreas, the marrow in your bones, your hair follicles, your lymph system, your immune system, your thoughts, your memories, your fears, your loss. Allow everything to feel this love that has held you from the very beginning of your life. Even before you were born, you remember this heartbeat pulsing all around you when you were in the womb. The heartbeat. This is your beginning. This is the start. Allow your life to start over with the foundation of unconditional love. Begin your circle over. Allow this heartbeat to touch you, to heal you, to go through every layer of time and space, relationships, experiences. Let this heartbeat go through all the layers and touch your heart and heal you. The voice like a lullaby, rocking you gently back to that peaceful, amazing, wonderful person inside. That little child that wants to be free, wants to laugh. All of us just want to be loved. Way on the arm. All it takes is one heartbeat, one sound. Way
Imagine yourself being rocked lovingly. Way on the like a little girl feeling lost, confused, jumping up on mama on her lap, putting her head against her chest as her loving arms securely wrap around you, and you feel this heartbeat, and you know this is the safest place in the world. We are we are or imagine yourself being that little boy running through that creek, splashing, giggling, laughing, waving your hands in the air as a little child, free, the sun shining and smiling at your life as the wind caresses you and it blows your hair gently, and you run through that creek, not a care in the world, because that heartbeat of love holds you, treasures you, knows you. Yeah, hey, and then you stop because you look down and you see something shiny, and you put your hand in that cold water, and you feel the magic as you pick up that beautiful pebble way down in the shadows of the creek, below the surface. You see that pebble calling you. And as you pick up that pebble and hold it in your hands, and you see it reflecting in the sun, and you feel how smooth, no more rough edges, no sharp points, smooth and shiny, and you realize that pebble is you, and the Spirit holds you in their hand, know that you have survived, and you have allowed all the currents of water, of life, of situations, of people, of hurt, of pain, of darkness, to wash over you, and you have become a beautiful, amazing pebble. You are a treasure. And deep in your heart, too deep for words, a song comes from deep in your soul and soars up to the heavens as your prayer, as your joy. Walk through the forest and all of the tall trees welcoming you, and you look up in the sky and you see the sun peeking through the tops of the trees, smiling at you. And as you walk through that path, you feel the leaves crunching under your feet. And all the birds peek around the branches, smiling at you, calling your name. the past are echoing away in the distance. That magnificent eagle, and you begin to soar to your highest dreams, to your greatest joy. You watched all the pages flip one after another as you stood on top of that mountain like an eagle. You watched the giant book open, all of your past, all the memories, the faces, the emotions, the pages that were stained. Chapters were torn and missing. And now the pages stop. And a new chapter begins. Fresh, crisp, new pages. No marks, no shadows from the past. No defects. And you begin to pick up that pen. You begin to write the new story, the new song. Like waking up from a dream, from a nightmare, from darkness. When I open up my eyes, a new world to me appears. love. And we become that beautiful eagle. On the wings of your love, I soar to that light above. There's no more pain, no more hurt in your comfort above. In your waiting arms of love, I sink deep into your heart, forever holding you hand in hand. You are always in my heart. Yeah, hey, yeah. Yeah, hey, yeah. Way out. Hey, yeah, hey,
Thank you for taking that time out of your life to be still long enough to feel.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tony. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Transporting is the word. Complete hypnotic, para-dimensional, out of this body experience. So beautiful. I felt like I was underwater with the river and flowing and then soaring and playing in the grass, and just your multitude of instrumentation is absolutely spectacular. No word for it.
Thank you. I enjoyed doing it.
Oh, thank you so much. And so I want to tell everybody where to find your products. So you have a library of audios. This is one that I've been listening to almost practically every single night since you sent it to me. And so on the web, you can visit Tony at tonyredhouse.net. tonyredhouse.net. You can also email Tony directly at tonyredhouse@gmail.com. You will find his recordings under his store and audios, and you can also connect with him directly to either purchase or invite Tony for events, performances, and various services that you provide. And so as for me, everybody, as you know, you can work with me directly as well by contacting me at genvièvhypnosis.com. I'm a board-certified forensic and clinical educator with the NGH. And if you are not included in my newsletter, simply subscribe at genvièvhypnosis.com. And of course, join us here on youtube.com/GenvièvTV. Subscribe. If you click the bell button, it will notify you when we upload new content. You can share with anybody that you feel might benefit this beautiful meditation of today. There will be a link below. You can share it, comment under the video, ask your questions for Tony, for me under the video, and pass this information along with everybody that you think will benefit. Maybe Tony and I, if the spirit allows, will collaborate again, because we came up with new ideas for specific conditions and specific challenges that people face. So you might very well see us collaborating together again on the channel. But again, thank you so much, Tony. That was such an honor and a blessing and a gift to feature you today. It's a lifelong dream for me and the little girl from Monte Carlo there, collaborating with Navajo meditational healer. What a gift. It's a dream come true. So thank you so much. Any last words you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I want to thank you for allowing me to share my heart and taking the time and the energy to connect with me. And so I really appreciate that we are on a beautiful path, and I honor you and respect the work that you're doing also.
Thank you.
I want to be able to encourage everybody out there to go back to the heart of the matter. Get out of the head, back to the heart, okay? The head can take you on rabbit trails. The mind can take you down rabbit holes. It can make you believe what is not real. But the heart is always true, and it is always real. And it is always love, too. And so we always want to go back to the heart. And so I'd like to encourage everybody to practice that. Don't let the mind take you in different areas and winds and currents and different ways of trying to think and trying to analyze, but just go back to the heart. I'm very grateful to be able to share this time with each of you. And for me, it is something that is inside of me. It is a gift. And as I mentioned before, since I was 5, since I was younger, that it's been something that has been born inside of me to express and to be able to share some of these things that are going to help us to find clarity, to help us to find light, to help us to find peace, And for all of us to come together and to create harmony in the universe once again, we're very much in need of that right now. And it's not very difficult. It's not complicated. It's very simple. Well, go back to the heart.
Beautifully said, Tony. I love this. Go back to the intelligence of the heart, which is so, so important. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. That was such an honor and a joyful experience to have Tony here with us. And we will see you again very soon. Until then, have a beautiful day, everybody. And ciao, ciao for now.
All right. Blessings.